A few years ago, when I was first setting up my shop, I built a basic loft to store things that we don't use every day. On the top, I have a power washer, wheelbarrow, and some pool stuff, and on the bottom, I have bikes and scooters. Near the ceiling, I have some wood storage, but I'm a little worried about those brackets holding up the weight over time. Well, this loft has been great for storage. Everything, including the cars, is covered in sawdust. To help with both of these issues, I'm going to build a wall to separate my shop from the rest of the garage. Now, while I'd like it to support some weight, this is not going to be a load-bearing wall, so I don't need to build it that way. I'm using 2x6s ripped in half as the vertical studs and a 2x4 ripped in half as the bottom and top plates. You'll see this in more detail soon, but I'm going to turn the studs 90 degrees so the wall will only be 1.5 inches thick. With the wall pieces ripped to size, I move my wood storage cart out of the way as well as the 1/4 inch plywood that I'll be using to sheet this wall. I bought this several months ago and have been storing it here for the time being. I measured the height of the wall and then started cutting the studs to size. It's going to be about 90 inches high and 10 feet wide. And because I don't have space in this side of the garage to build something that size, I did it in 2 sections. I laid out the first section on the floor and spaced everything accordingly to get 24-inch studs. This way, the plywood that was ripped in half to 24 inches will nail to it nicely. A trick I learned years ago when I worked for a carpenter is to clamp the top and bottom plates together when marking the stud locations to avoid a crooked wall. And here you can see what I was talking about earlier where I have the studs laying flat, and the reason for this is that I wanted to give up as little space as possible. A typical wall would be 3.5 inches thick using standard 2x4s, and in a small shop like mine, every inch counts. I'm going to use 2.5-inch yellow zinc screws to hold the wall together, but temporarily I held the studs in place with some 2-inch brads. This made pre-drilling so much easier and more accurate. With each hole pre-drilled, I use my impact driver to drive the screws home. This drill and driver from KIMO Tools are reasonably priced and great for beginners or DIYers like me. I'll put a link in the description below to some of their woodshop and yard tools that I like. With the first section built, I could stand it up and get it in place against the loft and under the wood storage brackets. I built the second section exactly the same as the first and joined the 2 sections in the middle with some screws. With just the wall framed, I could already tell that I was going to love the way this made my shop look and feel by being separate from the rest of the garage. With the frame in place, I cut the plywood sheathing down to size with my circular saw. I've noticed this birch plywood has a tendency to chip, so I put some masking tape on my cut line, which helped a lot. I don't need this line to be perfect, so I just freehanded it, but clamping a level or straight edge to the plywood could have given me a perfect line. It dawned on me that this plywood was very thin and I could be a lot faster by clamping 3 pieces together, so I did this and it worked great. I used my brad nailer again to secure the plywood to the wall frame. I'm not using any glue during this build because I wanted to be able to easily take it down if we ever move in the future. I also want to point out here that I purchased this material before lumber prices got really high in 2021, and I don't want you to think that I spent several $100s on a makeshift shop wall. Since the wall is 10 feet wide, I had to rip the middle piece down a little, and I needed this to be a cleaner cut, so I did it on the table saw. I nailed that piece in place and then went back over the wall to get any high spots. On average, I would say I put a brad every 8 to 12 inches or so. With the wall construction complete, I secured it to the loft, which will add a bit of strength as well as keep it from moving. I gave it a quick sanding, and off camera I applied a coat of paste wax. I then wheeled the wood storage workbench back into position. This side of the shop has always lacked power, so I used this opportunity to add an outlet to this wall. This flush mount power strip is the perfect solution for this. To install it, I marked out the size and location and cut the hole with a jigsaw. I eventually want to add a run for my dust collection system over here behind the tools, so I took that into consideration as well. I fed the power cord up through the back of the wall and held it in place with a staple. I then fed it up, behind, and over the wood storage near the ceiling to get it close to the power outlet near the garage door opener. The cord wasn't quite long enough, so I added an extension and held everything in place with more staples. I like that this has a switch because I plan to keep it off most of the time to reduce the power load on that outlet. I'm otherwise out of wall space, so another benefit here is that this clamp storage rack has a nice new home. If you want to see how I built it, be sure to subscribe and I'll try to get that video out ASAP. I also now have more room to hang my geek stuff, and we all know that I have more geek builds in my future. I'm so happy with the way this wall turned out, and thank you so much for watching.